This section is called the percent proportion. So remember, percents are a ratio that compares a number to 100. So expressing a percent as a fraction, the denominator will be 100 and the numerator will be your percent. Now if it reduces, make sure you reduce, and then it does say mixed number, so if the numerator is greater than 100, make sure you change it to a mixed number. So 107%, 107 out of 100, sorry. 100 goes into 107 one time, and we have 7 left over. So 1 7/100ths. And the last one, 0.5 out of 100. Now we can't have a decimal inside of a fraction, so we need to move that decimal place over. So that's actually 5. But that changed it. Instead of being 0.5, it's now 5. So we multiply that by 10. We move that decimal over on here too. So we get 1,000. And then this one reduces. So make sure you reduce. 5 goes into 1,200 times. So 1 out of 200. Okay, so if you need to change a percent to a fraction, make sure you know it's always out of 100. If they want it as a decimal, then you could just divide those fractions and get them as a decimal. The percent proportion. In a percent proportion, the ratio of a part, that's 2 words, of something to the whole base is equal to the percent written as the fraction. So part over whole equals the percent, and we're writing that as a fraction, so it's out of 100. Now usually the whole is followed by the word of, so look for that when you're trying to do these problems. So example 1, 40% of 30 is what part, or what number? So we have, remember, part over whole equals the percent as a fraction. So 40%, that's 40 out of 100. So 40% of 30, so that's our whole, is what number, and we don't know. Now remember, to solve a proportion, we cross multiply. So x times 100 is 100x. 30 times 40 is 1,200, and then we divide. So that would be 12. 40% of 30 is 12. Let's look at this next one. 67.5 is 75% of what number? So of what number? We don't know the whole then, so that's where our x will go. 75 is our percent, so that's over 100, and 67.5 is our part. So go ahead and cross multiply. You get 75x equals 6,750. Divide. And you get x is 90. So 75% of 90 is that 67.5, and you could check that. And that's really all there is to the percent proportion. Remember that it's part over whole, and percent is out of 100.